So, chapter 982 is dropped, and there's a lot of content to review here. I really enjoyed this chapter just because it set up so much to happen in the future. Not much action happened in terms of fights or anything, but the chapter ended with a lot of content set up for the next chapter. I generally don't like cliffhangers, but the ones in this chapter got me really hyped for chapter 983, and there's also a lot of information to unpack in this chapter. Some things are ambiguous and deserve a bit of discussion to clarify, so without further ado, let's hop into the chapter. At the beginning of the chapter, we get some information about both the One Piece and Kaido, which I enjoyed because although Kaido is a really important character, the fanbase doesn't really know much about his personality. Even though Kaido and Wano have been hyped up since pretty much Thriller Bark, his Devil Fruit wasn't properly even revealed until chapter 921. And in terms of his personality, it seemed like Kaido was just an angry drunk, but in recent chapters, he's been shown to be somewhat agreeable and likable as a person. At least for me, it's important to set up a complicated personality for villains, because One Piece isn't just about fights, it's much more complex than that, and the reason why villains like Doflamingo, for example, were so good was because we got such complex backstories for him. Regarding what Kaido said, I was so surprised that Oden didn't give much information about the scabbards and the whereabouts of the One Piece, because it probably isn't a trust issue. Oden trusted the scabbards more than pretty much anyone else, and most of them were extremely loyal to him. So if it isn't a trust issue, then what is it? Well, maybe he felt that they should only find Laugh Tale by their own hard work, that it would ruin the point if they were told where it is. Similar to how Luffy felt at the Sabaody archipelago, Oden probably felt that most of the finding the One Piece is the journey to get there. Being told where an island isn't really much of an accomplishment, and it's more about the journey to get there. From this dialogue, we can also interpret what Kaido said to mean that although Kaido won't go too far out of his way to become the king of the pirates, he still would like to become it. It is an ambition for him, but he has other priorities first, such as starting the war that he is working with Doflamingo. Although he mentioned that it was too bad, he wasn't in a particularly bad mood either, which kind of signifies that it's not too important for him. Regarding Kanjuro and Momonosuke, who are seen on the next panel, I think this is either a testament to Kanjuro's strength or it signifies that Onigashima isn't that well guarded. We haven't really seen too many feats from Kanjuro, so it's hard to tell, but my impression was that he was strong but not too strong, maybe around flying 6 level or so. The only feats from Kanjuro were from when he was a spy and wasn't trying too hard, so it's hard to accurately gauge his power level. However, I think it's safe to say that he will have some significance in fights later on in this arc. Everyone he encountered regarded him as an enemy, and he still managed to make it back in one piece. This means either Kanjuro is really strong, or that the security for the mansion is rather lax, or a mix of the two things. But to be fair, he didn't take a very direct route, and he used secret passageways, which probably made it so that he didn't have to encounter as many enemies. We'll see just how strong he is in the coming chapters. In terms of Momonosuke, it was nice to see that he resisted Kanjuro. He's maturing and becoming braver. And it was also nice to see some panels of Marco yet again, just because we haven't really seen much of him for like 500 chapters or 400 chapters. And I'm really hyped up to see how strong he is now after the time skip, after everything that happened, including the war. We know that Izo's there and he's also going to help out Marco, but we haven't really seen any of the other Whitebeard pirates, and there's a possibility that they're there, but I think that Marco will be the main force even if the others do show up. It was also cool to see Denjiro being so helpful, and if he can continue doing this, then he'll be very valuable to the Alliance. With Sasaki, I don't think he'll be completely out of the fight. He's a Flying 6 member, and I don't think Oda would set up characters like that just for them to be beaten so easily. He's gonna escape, and I'm hoping he has some sort of fight with Jinbei. Obviously, Jinbei would beat him, but because they look kind of similar, it'd be interesting to see, maybe a skirmish or something. But obviously, Jinbei's gonna beat him because he's probably around 2nd Yonko Commander level, maybe even 1st, so he wouldn't have any trouble with a Flying 6 member. I was kind of disappointed by how Kinemon and the rest of the forces used Chopper and Usopp as a diversion, because they're samurai and they're honorable, but also I wanted to see a big fight between Big Mom and the Alliance. But this will provide an opportunity for the Straw Hats to potentially show some new power-ups, and Big Mom is probably really mad at Nami as well as Chopper and Usopp, which will give her an opportunity to really display what she can do with Zeus. We haven't really seen much with her from Zeus except for the lightning strike on Big Mom, and right after she got Zeus, she did that and did some pretty heavy damage. So now after training a bit with Zeus and getting used to him, she's obviously going to be able to do a bit more. With all this said, though, there's no way that Carrot plus 3 of the weakest Straw Hats can beat Big Mom. She's a Yonko. She can pretty much one-shot Luffy. So someone's going to have to intervene, whether it be Kaido, Luffy, Kid, whatever. There's got to be something there, because as it is now, they don't stand a chance. Another thing to add about the defense in Onigashima is Luffy's already in Kaido's mansion. He's probably not too far in, but he's inside of it, which kind of surprised me a bit because it means that he's already starting to get kind of close to Kaido, and I didn't think he would already be in there so fast. So I think getting to Kaido and getting to those big fights is going to happen sooner than I expected. I don't know about what other people expected, but it's probably only going to come in a few chapters, and maybe some sort of Bluno fight in between Luffy and Luffy Kid and Kaido, Luffy Lon Kaido, something like that. There might be Luffy versus King, something like that. So we'll see. The end of the chapter for me showed the confidence that Luffy exudes, which I think is important because he has conqueror's haki and he's going to become king of the pirates, so he has to have a sense of confidence around him. The way Luffy looked at Ulti shows that Luffy is rightfully superior, and he asked her name as if she didn't know what she was doing, something like, "Who are you to be fooling around near me like that?" It shows that Luffy knows that he's leagues above her and that she needs to know her place more, because he's a really strong character. He's probably pushing Admiral level, so people like Toby Ropo can't fool around him. They need to show some respect, and rightfully so, otherwise they're going to get beaten by him. Overall, the panel was really well drawn, and it was a great way to end the chapter. One Piece isn't on break next week, so stay tuned for another chapter review. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe and comment about what your predictions for Nami, Chopper, Usopp, and Carrot are. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.